How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Happy Saturday. Hopefully we can hang out for a little bit and I'll get you guys out of here so you still have time to do something. And I still have time to do something on Saturday because I'm sitting at my mom's looking out the window at the water out there and I want to be out on it so bad because it's actually not raining today. So, but yeah. Girls, Nana, I'm so happy for you to catch this live too. And thank you for being a member for 9 months. And Mindy, thank you for being a member for 4 months. Let me say hello to you guys and then we'll bring Jen right up. I definitely am not like after taking days like off of streaming, it just doesn't feel natural anymore. And I'm kind of out of that. So hopefully it comes back to me quickly because we have an update. It's the judge's order in this lawsuit we've been following for a long time now. You know, you start to feel like listening to so much of Tisha's babble, whether it's written or you're listening like to audio of it. You start to get kind of lost in the nonsense. So maybe this will kind of make some sense of the nonsensical, you know? So anyways, hey, Meg. Hey, Stevie Grace. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Shabanae. Good to see you. Hey, Selena. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Bogart. Oh, I hate that. Hopefully, well, if it's pouring rain, hopefully you get a good nap out of it. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Kayanne. Hey, Jules. Neat. Hey, Kate, Edith, Crystal, Dana. Not today. Hey, Lydia Jade, Rexy, Shelly Beans, Alicia, Lisa, Rope Scout, anybody that I missed. Thank you guys for being here. Let me go ahead and bring Bindi up and we will get started in a second. Hey, Jen.
Hey, babe. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good.
What do you got going on today?
Oh, well, what I should be doing. Are you asking what I should be doing or are you asking what I am doing? Because what I should be doing is working on this video. What I am doing is not that. I don't know. I'm kind of burnt out. That live, I got to be honest, it left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah. And I kind of don't want to do any gypsy content.
Yeah, you know? I can see that. Well, I mean, I think that's only natural, but don't let it stop you because with so many people that love to talk about gypsy and the case and all of that, not many of them actually know a whole lot about it. So it is nice to have somebody that actually does know, some more about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, babe. I'll get back to it. It's just, that was a lot. It was a lot. And so, it's just, I don't know. It just, I'll get back to it. It's hard for me to be funny because that's the part that I'm at, is the recaps or whatever. And it's hard for me to have, funny comebacks or commentary when I'm feeling like a little bit, you know what I mean? But I'll be over it.
Yeah.
I'll take a nap today after I get off of this with Allie, and I'm going to put my behind in the past and I'll be fine. It'll be fine. I will rally.
I agree. You'll be just fine. It's just sometimes, man, this place is a crazy place. There's a lot of good, but there's a lot of chaos here too. And when it comes to your channel and it's not you bringing it, I'm sure that's pretty stressful.
But anyway, let's talk about Letecia shenanigans because that always, I can always laugh at, her bullshit.
Yeah. Well, hey, Gavel. So we never finished the Martinez report because let me show you, this is just what was at the end. So this was the one thing that there was to talk about when she switches her preferences to Jewish and Christian, like the switch back and forth. And she does like this little paragraph here, which it's really hard to even read anyways. But then you have basically just one more declaration and then a ton of basic stuff about the jail. Nothing really in particular to her. Some of it is, but it's monthly health and sanitation inspection reports like every month that she's been there and things like that. So really there wasn't a ton of conversation to be had like surrounding the rest of those documents. But now we have the judge's order. So this should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I have scanned it. Like, I didn't read through every page. I kind of skimmed it, read a little bit at a time, or a little bit on this page and a little bit off that page, or whatever. I do know that it's not the end, because at the end he does dismiss several things, but he gives her a date of like August 29th to get a couple things done. So we'll get to that when we get there, but that's kind of what we're looking at. All right. So I guess I'm going to start reading, and just pause me if there's somewhere you want me to stop. And if there's somewhere I want to stop, I'll just stop.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Plaintiff brings this. So this is the judge's, again, memorandum and order. It says plaintiff brings this pro se civil rights action under 42 U.S. Supreme Court 1983. Plaintiff is in custody at Topeka Correctional Facility in Kansas. She is a Colorado Department of Corrections prisoner housed at TCF through the Interstate Corrections Compact. The court granted plaintiff leave to proceed in forma pauperis. On March 15th, 2024, the court entered a memorandum and order to show cause, ordering the plaintiff to show cause why her complaint should not be dismissed for the reasons set forth in the MOSC, or to file an amended complaint to cure all the deficiencies. Plaintiff filed amended complaint on April the 29th. The court entered a memorandum and order dismissing plaintiff's claims regarding her security classification and housing assignment at TCF, and dismissing her claims against Valerie Watts and Centurion. The court found that the proper processing of plaintiff's remaining claims could not be achieved without additional information from appropriate Kansas Department of Corrections officials, and that's the Martinez report. Accordingly, the court ordered the Kansas Department of Correction officials to prepare and file a Martinez report regarding the remaining claims. The Martinez report has now been filed. The M&O provides that once the report has been received, the court can properly screen her remaining claims. The court's screening standards are set forth in the MOSC. So, remember, she's basically claiming that she's being held illegally, which is some of what they were talking about that was being dismissed, her security classification and housing. I think she's trying to be moved. That's just my opinion. I think that you probably think that too, based on our last, but I don't know. What do you think, Jen?
Oh yeah, she doesn't want to be where she's at, but the her filing basically a habeas corpus, this would be excuse me, the wrong venue for that. That is a criminal matter, not a civil matter. Although you would think that it would be civil, because your civil liberties if you're being falsely imprisoned, it would be your civil liberties, but the proper venue for that, because it's due to a conviction, would be the criminal courts. I don't know. And so, if that's why it was dismissed.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Well, she loves to scream how her civil rights are being violated. No matter what's going on with Tisha, it's always her rights being violated, not all the bullshit that she does to,
Exactly. Which the irony about her screaming about her rights being violated is that she violated Gannon's rights, but she also violated many other people's rights by committing the crime that she committed. So, at the end of the day, Tisha, sit down and shut up. You're done. Yes. If you want to appeal something, if you want to make an appeal at your conviction, obviously that's your right. But for Pete's sake, stop acting like this is some kind of conspiracy against you, that people wake up in the morning thinking about how they can mess your life and your day up. You are not that important, I can assure you. The universe does not give a rat's fat kneecap. Hi, I'm the universe.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because in the Martinez documents, let me click back over to that for a second. I think it was at the very end. We see here, look at Kansas Department of Corrections application for registration as registered attorney. And this is where she adds Eric Samler. Remember, I told you, like at the end, it showed where she added him officially as her attorney on the record. Mm-hmm. And he is, he's a Colorado attorney who's fights in front of the Supreme Court and that kind of stuff. So it's interesting that she added him to be her attorney on record. I don't know what she's expecting to do, but we'll follow and see, I guess.
Clearly expecting a miracle. First of all, let me just say this, just outright. The U.S. Supreme Court, I'm not talking about, every state has a state level Supreme Court, but I'm talking about big Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. They only hear but a very few cases a year. And quite frankly, Letecia's case is not going to be one that they hear. Nothing has happened to her. Her trial was not unfair. In fact, I would argue, and I think other people that are far more qualified to argue this than I am, like people with actual law degrees, would argue that many of Judge Werner's rulings were actually in favor of Letecia. I don't know another judge who would have put up with the lack of professionalism from Dr. Lewis, quite frankly. I don't. Yeah. And if either side got sort of, I don't know another way to put this, but the shaft in that whole deal, it was definitely not Letecia. It would have been the state. She was allowed to testify at times when I was like that. Remember whenever he said, I don't want you to pull out they're asking you about this evidence and I don't want you to reach in your purse later and pull it out. And then she reached into her purse later and pulled it out. It's like that.
Yes, of course I remember that. But if you see here, he is listed to be regarding the matter of People versus Letecia Stauch in the Colorado Court of Appeals. And Victoria Lee, good question. She says, does this attorney know she is listing him, or is it a Jose Baez situation? And yeah, he does, because he signed it here. So
yeah. And the thing is, a lot of the things that she's alleging in this lawsuit with Topeka, Kansas, are to support why she didn't file her appeal on time. I think that's just my opinion. I don't know. I mean, obviously I don't want to be in Letecia's head at all for any reason ever. But it just the way that she has worded it, it sounds to me like she is attempting to set up, hey, listen, I did want to appeal, but all of these things happened to me for no reason, and that's why I couldn't. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. That would be the only thing that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. It's not that she makes a lot of sense anyway, so I don't know, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now we have nature of the matter before the court. Plaintiff's allegations in her amended complaint are set forth in detail in the memorandum and order. In summary, she raises claims regarding the denial of court access, Eighth Amendment violations based on her conditions of confinement at the Topeka Correctional Facility, claims regarding her freedom to practice her religion at Topeka Correctional Facility, and retaliation. Plaintiff names the following remaining defendants: Jeff Zmuda, Kansas Department of Corrections Secretary of Corrections; Darcy Holthus, she's the Secretary of Corrections designee and Interstate Corrections Compact Coordinator; the warden, a CO, a correctional officer, a CO, prison administration, facility service administrator, and first sergeant disciplinary administrator at the prison. She does seek injunctive relief to prevent continued violations and compensatory damages. Okay, so number 2, the report. The report addresses the remaining claims in this case and provides as follows. Count 1. A is count 1. The complaint states that Holly Chavez The prison's facility service administrator denied plaintiff the ability to add her attorney to her allowed calling list from August to December of 2023. Holly denies having received any such request from Letecia. She would not have been the appropriate person to make the request to, since she does not participate in that process, nor does she manage the lists. Internal Management Policy and Procedure 10 through 111D, Section 3E, sets forth the process for residents to add an attorney to their allowed calling list. Accordingly, residents are required to fill out a request form and sign it along with a signature from their unit team. The unit team then sends the form to TCF's resident technology administrator and the resident telephone service provider for review and entry. On October 29th, 2023, plaintiff sent an electronic message to her unit team requesting an attorney from Colorado be added to her approved calling list. However, the prison's resident technology administrator, Brandon Kennedy, has not received an approved calling list form from plaintiff. Plaintiff's unit team has also not received or signed an approved calling list from plaintiff. Holly is not part of plaintiff's unit team, nor is she a resident telephone service provider. Plaintiff claims that she appealed the alleged denial to the warden, Donna Hook, and then to Jeff Smuda, the secretary. A thorough review of her grievances and requests since her date of arrival at the prison did not yield any documented appeal. The warden denies having received or responded to an appeal regarding plaintiff's approved calling list. The secretary's designee, Darcy Holthus, who reviews grievances that are appealed to Secretary Smuda, denies having received or reviewed any such appeal. So basically, she's not doing the proper steps you're supposed to do, and she's probably lying about having filed some of the paperwork that nobody ever received.
Right. I mean, it's pretty much Tisha's MO. She will go and write a kite about something. She will be given the tools and the instructions on why this specific kite is, how to do it the correct way, and will continue to do it the incorrect way. And it's somehow magically everybody else's fault.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly what she does. So apparently her attorney contacted the jail on July 10th, in which he conveyed his interest in having a confidential call with Letecia. The attorney was provided the registration form and returned it completed on July 10th. It was approved on July 11th. Prior to this development, no evidence has been found to support either party attempting to place a call to the other. Plaintiff next alleges that mail she sends to her attorney has been confiscated and tampered with by TCF's classifications administrator. Plaintiff further claims this has happened in front of an unidentified prison officer. Of course, an unidentified.
Right. You've got a whole witness, but you can't say who the witness is. Shut up, Tisha.
Yes. The TCF tracks all outgoing and incoming mail. Plaintiff has sent 16 items of legal mail since her arrival at the prison. She does not appear to have attempted to send her Colorado attorney legal mail, but has sent legal documents and or correspondence to other parties. Mr. Hartpence denies having confiscated or tampered with her mail. Let's see. Finally, plaintiff claims that shortcomings in TCF's legal library hindered her ability to pursue litigation in Colorado. There you go, Bendy. On December 20th, 2023, plaintiff filed a grievance stating the prison's legal library did not allow her access to Colorado statutes, even though she called it statutes. Plaintiff was advised by Ms. Chavez that the prison staff would provide her with the specific statute she requires. Plaintiff's complaint does not specify what exactly the prison's legal library is not sufficiently providing her.
See, this is very Boone-esque of Tisha here. Yesterday, we heard Boone say, I can't open much of the files on the USB drive. Well, what are those files? Can you be specific? Is it 5, 10, 15, 20? I don't know. I just moved on. The same thing, you know?
Yes, I saw that. And she's like, I was watching you and I wasn't really chatting much at that moment. I got to say, though, okay, like I agree with you. You would think she would have made a list because that's what you said. Like you would think you would make a list. You
She
got
loves
paper
a
and
list.
pen.
Are you kidding me?
But she does seem like much more well-spoken than, let's say, Atisha, who says things like, her grammar and stuff. So,
Yes, Sarah Boone is quite articulate. The
yeah.
problem is,
Did we lose Bendy or did y'all lose me? Uh-oh. I heard the problem is, and then it just cut out.
not get it out of your mouth in an effective way, and you are constantly talking in circles, then it's kind of a bummer because people are missing out on what it is that you're trying to say. And with Sarah, there's a lot of that. She's not an unintelligent woman. She's a smart person. It's just that her way of communicating is so bass backwards that it's so hard to understand. It's super like there was a simple question yesterday. Which officer did you talk to? Was it Hall? No, was it Tracy Hall? No, it was Hall. I don't know who sent her though.
You cut out for a second and it was like, the problem is, and then it just went completely silent.
Did it? That's weird. Okay. What all did you hear?
Thank you.
Just the problem is?
Yeah, just the problem is that it went completely silent. And then like the last sentence you said, you came back. And I was like, wait a minute, is that me or Jen? But I think the chat said you got yeeted
so
for a
weird.
second.
Oh, that's so weird because it didn't even show me that I was gone. Basically, the problem with Sarah Boone is an intelligent woman. The problem is she is a poor communicator. She comes across as somebody who always is trying to prove how intelligent they are. And so it's difficult to communicate with her. Yesterday, there was a very simple question that the judge asked her when she was talking about a miscommunication at the jail about did she have everything she needed. And the judge said, did you speak to Tracy Hall? No, I spoke to someone and I don't know their name. And she said something like, it was Hall. That's literally what he asked her. And she said, but I don't know who sent her. Nobody asked you who sent her. He just wanted to know who you spoke to. And it ended up being, yes, in fact, she doesn't know their first name. But I mean, come on. How many how many people how many officers with the last name Hall that you spoke to yesterday at the jail are there? I mean, it's that kind of, failure to communicate. And then the failure to communicate, Sarah and Letecia both are this way. The failure to communicate, they never seem to think that it could possibly just maybe be them that has the communication issue. It's everybody else.
Yep. You're right. They are like that, both of them. And Crystal, thank you for rejoining. I appreciate that so much. But yeah, that was so funny because you just completely cut out like we're waiting for the problem is.
And then I said, no problem. I like to leave y'all wanting more.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, if you guys missed Jen going over the new stuff with Sarah Boone, make sure you go back and check it out. I know I shared it on the community tab, so you can find it there or her most recent live on her channel. Okay, and says she's going.
Oh, are you?
Interesting.
Maybe I'll see you there.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Okay, so count two. Now we're going to get into, oh God, let me just read it. Plaintiff claims that she has been and is still being exposed to frequent sewage backups in her cell and other cells near her. Plaintiff has been housed in 10 cells since her arrival at the prison. The physical plant supervisor, who oversees the facility's maintenance environmental conditions, confirmed that no sewage backups have been observed in any of TCF cells, including the 10 cells she has resided. While no sewage has entered residential cells, wastewater has backed up into certain showers. Most of these backups are the result of residents intentionally clogging toilets and sinks with clothing or bedding, which causes the drainage water to rise in the shower area. Ugh. When wastewater is reported, maintenance personnel try to immediately respond and block off traffic to the area. The prison is in the process of upgrading its solid waste sewer system to address this issue and is expected to be completed next year. That's so disgusting, but you know what? Don't commit crimes like this and you don't go to prison. Prisons are not the nicest place to exist. It's just not. It's not going to be.
Right. But if you have people, it's not like their system. I mean, yes, I'm sure it needs to be updated. I mean, things, get old and they need to be updated. But on the other side of that, there are people within the prison who are exacerbating a situation by clogging the sinks and the toilets. And, we know that Tisha brags about how she can, what does she call it? I can something a toilet in 10 seconds. What'd she call it?
I
Pop
can't
a toilet.
remember.
I can pop a toilet in 10 seconds. That's something to brag about. Put that on your LinkedIn, Tisha.
She also claims there's no hot water available in any of the cells, and the sinks are inoperable. The prison heats its water with older water heaters, which sometimes take up to a minute to produce heated water in cold weather. But hot water is available in all sinks and showers, although it may take a few seconds to become available. Lady, this is prison. Again, it might take a second for your water to get hot. I just cannot with her. Oh, I'm sorry. She's frustrated.
It's like she's unaware of where she's at. She's completely oblivious to her surroundings. Yep. And the thing of it is, Letecia probably could actually, I'm not even going to say it. Never mind. I'm just going to be quiet. Because it was actually going to be a compliment, but I've decided, nope.
Taking it back.
I'm taking it back. We didn't call no take back, so I'm taking it back.
Well, I don't know. It's just she's like, the room service here sucks. Right. Yeah, you don't have fucking room service in prison.
This heifer thinks she's over here on the DoorDash app, rating her, driver and rating the restaurant. Shut up, Tisha. You're in prison, lady.
It's not going to be the most comfortable experience, but guess what? When you brutally murder a child, that's what you deserve. That's exactly what you get. And they proved every step of the way what you did. So I don't feel bad for you. If it was just a person who was in prison for I don't know, not paying fines or something like that, I might feel a little bad and be like, okay, we need better prisons. But people who do what she did, no, sorry. I don't feel bad for you. Not that I don't think that prison reform needs to happen. I do believe that needs to happen.
It does need to happen, but not the way that she's going about it.
Yeah.
Yep. The way that she's going about it, she is acting as if that the prison is intentionally guiding sewer water wherever she's at. She acts like this is like these people they get up every single morning, and as soon as they turn their alarm off, the first thought they have is, how can we screw with Letecia Stauch today?
Yep, exactly.
That's how she acts, and that's why it's annoying.
Yep. So apparently it says they conduct a monthly health and sanitation inspection where they measure the hot, like how hot the water is. And in since August of 2023, hot water temperatures have been confirmed to range from 100 degrees to 120 during each inspection. Like that seems like pretty warm water. I don't know. So,
what do you care anyway, Tisha? We know you don't like to shower. So what's the big deal to you? Why do you need hot water? What are you complaining about?
yeah,
Lord knows you don't wash.
Good
I mean,
point.
has there been a whole world order here, Tisha? Are you suddenly, shower happy? What about your bucket? You didn't bring that with you? Shut up,
Yeah. Listen, if you start washing, they'll make the showers better. How about that? Everybody wins.
When you start using soap, we'll start fixing some stuff. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. Then plaintiff claims that she has been exposed to mold during her time at the prison. The only document in which plaintiff mentions mold is in a grievance that claims inadequate medical care from a Centurion nurse. Plaintiff did not file a grievance or maintenance request regarding any suspected mold during her time at the prison. The prison's maintenance department investigates all claims of mold and has not identified any species of mold in her current or previous cells. What's the deep breath for? I'm sorry, I heard a deep breath.
I feel like the grease that sits on top of your head can combat that mold at this point. Stop it. There was no look. You need to stop playing with these people out here, okay, Tisha? There's no mold. You don't care about cleanliness. You don't care about none of that, okay? Ugh.
And if you're going to file a lawsuit for things like this, maybe you should, I don't know, make sure that you've actually filed grievances and complaints about this shit before you file the lawsuit, because when they go back, there's going to be no history of it.
Exactly.
Hey, Jonesin. She is the mold. Yes, she is.
She's that mold that gets in your shower, that gets on like the caulking that you can't get rid of. So you just have to strip the caulking and recaulk your tub. That's Letecia. She's that level of mold.
Just throw the whole place away now that she's been there. Throw it away. Plaintiff claims that she was exposed to contaminated water due to prison staff failing to alert her to a water advisory warning issued for the county on January 14th. The local news advisory was specifically directed at the Metro Topeka Airport Authority and Shawnee County Rural Water District. Out of an abundance of caution, steps were taken to prevent any risk to resident health. To ensure each resident was aware of the advisory, including residents that did not have tablet access, unit teams followed up the electronic notice with a verbal notice to their respective residents. Maintenance staff also posted warnings on all facility water fountains. The facility shut off its water supply and residents were issued bottles of water. Plaintiff did not appeal any claim or grievance regarding alleged contaminated water exposure to the secretary for review.
Perhaps she claims maybe they went around alley and were, knocking cell to cell, and on that particular day, Maria Sanchez opened the door, and Letecia was uninformed. Get the fuck out of here, Letecia.
That would explain that. She always has an explanation for everything. So
right.
that
they told Maria, check Maria's file.
And yeah, they literally put signs on every fountain and shut off the water and hand out water bottles.
So then how did you get exposed? What did you do? Drink the toilet water that was sitting in there? I mean, I don't understand. Is this what happened as a result of it takes me 10 seconds to pop a toilet? You got a little splashback in your face? Shut up. You're not doing that any damn way.
Would not be surprised. Plaintiff claims that her cell has inadequate ventilation, which has forced her to inhale toxins. The prison has contracted with PI Group Inc., which maintains air quality and ventilation systems for the facility. The maintenance department has not found inadequate ventilation in plaintiff's current or previous cells. Plaintiff did not appeal any claim or grievance regarding ventilation in her cell. Wait a minute. So this is at Kansas, because in those phone calls, do you remember at the prison in Colorado, she was saying the same thing,
They
that
were
basically,
yeah. They not only did she say that was inadequate ventilation, she said they were putting things in the vents to keep them
oh my
docile. Horse steroids is what she said, to control them. Let me explain
oh
something
my
to you,
God.
Tisha. The call is coming from inside the house, ma'am. The toxins that you are experiencing is your funk. Go
Yeah.
wash your ass, ma'am.
Yep.
That's what's wrong. It's you. Okay?
Truth Heart said she broke the mold. Oh my God. You guys are too much. You're funny. Has anyone know, has Teabag ever messaged any of the true crime creators besides Alex? I don't think so, because I had requested her on that app. So she had my account. Like, she could message me and then block me, so I couldn't message her. And now I keep the app for other reasons. So she could technically message me at any time unless I blocked her, which I haven't. But yeah, I don't think so.
No, because I refuse. I will. She gets none of all of the goodness that is Jin Lu. She gets nothing from me.
She is not allowed near that beautiful brain of Jen's to poison it.
That's right. I don't listen. Don't infect me with your toxicity and your funk, ma'am.
And your mold, yeah.
And your mold.
Okay, so she also claimed that the staff denied her access to cleaning products. The team manager does not recall a single instance in which plaintiff was denied the ability to retrieve cleaning products or be provided cleaning products by security personnel. To the contrary, residents are strongly encouraged to utilize cleaning supplies to maintain their living spaces. Doing so provides a safer and healthier environment. Well, remember, she also claimed she was OCD, and I'm sorry, but when they did the body cam, to me, no. She doesn't seem like, she claimed to be overly clean and overly organized. And yeah, I don't see that at all with her.
No.
She claims
somebody
that
who was overly clean and overly organized would make housebreaking their dogs a priority. I don't blame the dogs. I never blame the dogs. There are no bad dogs. There's only bad people, bad humans. And I recall from reading the reports that there was a strong odor of dog urine. So, it is what it is. Nobody that is, just shut up, Tisha. Okay, go ahead, Allie.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
Mrs. Bendover said, stop, drop, and mold. You guys kill me. Have Melissa make a remix to her original.
Drop and mold.
Okay. Then she claims that her leaking windows allow temperature extremes and vermin access to her cell. Since she has lived at the prison, not one health and sanitation inspection report has found a window opening that would allow a bug or rodent infestation. She claims the food she receives is inadequately prepared and does not meet nutritional guidelines.
Yes, Letecia, we know how important nutrition is to you, staying fit and healthy and eating the recommended daily allowances of all the vitamins and minerals, especially when you're scarfing down an entire bag of Jolly Ranchers. Shut up.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Oh my God. I don't know how, but for a second I forgot about the fucking sweatpants. Like, for some reason, I think that's about to come up, but I might be wrong. But yeah, let's not forget that you're doing shit. She does shit like this. She can get busted selling sweatpants on eBay to people who will pay a lot of money for a notorious killer's clothes or whatever other items they can get from that kind of person. She gets busted with that, loses all privileges, and then claims that, oh my God, they took all my privileges because I did this and it's all retaliation or whatever, when there's clearly an explanation for why you lost privileges. Like, it's really frustrating.
It's very frustrating. Let's just say that Letecia, nothing that you say in some of these complaints makes a lick of sense. This is a prison, okay, where they house people who have committed crimes, right? From all the way down, from nonviolent crimes all the way up to the most heinous crime that you commit, which is murder. All right. So, do you think if there is a crack or a spot in a window where a bug or a rat or a mouse could get in, that would lend that it could be messed with in an effort for an entire human being to get out. So I'm pretty sure they keep up on that. It's part of the security. Shut up, Tisha. Why don't you call
no
your
doubt.
Volturi friends? Maybe they can transform you.
Well, with her especially, I mean, she's known to, if there was some break in the security system in the windows or whatever, she's going to exploit that. So they've got to be on top of that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And here's the thing about it. She's clearly not committed to it like Ted Bundy was. Do you know how much weight he lost in order to be able to get up in that ceiling and then get out that window and then out? He lost a ton of weight to do that. That means putting down the bags of Jolly Ranchers, Tisha, but you won't. You'll just say it's everybody else's fault that you're a pork chop. Stop it.
Oh, did you see that there are some new interviews and stuff coming out about Bundy? I was recommended something yesterday of like some childhood friends and family that were coming forward.
Oh, interesting.
And basically saying like we were all like, the part I saw, there's a lot more to it, but basically talking about how charismatic he was and how they all wanted to be like him and looked up to him and stuff like that. So it's really interesting because he does, like, I could see how he is more charismatic. I could see how he might have people thinking that he's a different kind of person than he is when he's really a monster, when he's tricking the women to come back with him, the broken arm and all the things. I don't know. I think he's very interesting.
He is interesting, but see this. Okay. I remember, obviously I'm older than you. I don't know why I feel the need to say that all the time because it's clear, but I remember hearing about Ted Bundy on the news when I was younger. Okay. Like a kid. And I didn't understand really what I was watching. But like I would see interviews and stuff with him and whatnot. But I was young and I don't find Ted Bundy to be particularly charismatic. And here's why. It isn't as if he charmed these women into trusting him. What he did was he pretended to be hurt and he played on their good nature. And then in other situations, he pretended to be like an authority figure, like a police officer, undercover or not in uniform or whatnot. And so, as I've gotten older, I've seen his interviews, and there's one interview where he's talking about representing himself, and he laughs, and his laugh was like this, It's so like. I don't know. It's not creepy. It's more like awkward. Like he laughed at his own joke.
Well, for me,
in a very awkward way. And I was just like, I don't know. He's interesting. I'm not arguing that. He's quite interesting. Yeah. His level of denial of certain aspects of his crime fascinate me. He absolutely, positively will not cop to the necrophilia. And, but I don't know, he's interesting, but I don't find him to be particularly charming or actually, honestly, that intelligent. I don't know. When
I watched him in court, I felt like I thought he was kind of charismatic or not necessarily what you would think of when you think of like this serial killer.
Well, he definitely doesn't look like outwardly, he doesn't present as like some kind of monster. Like he's not,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Which, they don't necessarily, that's one of the biggest like examples of monsters don't always look like monsters. You know what I mean? Sometimes they look like whatever, your average dude, but Yeah. But yeah, apparently all of his cousins and stuff really looked up to him, wanted to be like him. I don't know. I need to go back and find it, but we should have a discussion on that sometime because it is really interesting.
We should. Oh, hold on. Before you keep, I just want to say one thing. Hey, pinche Becky. I just love saying that name. I really just like saying pinche. It's one of my favorite words. All right.
Hey, Pinche Becky. Am I wrong? But you're normally not on this time, are you? It's 3 a.m. here in Australia. I'm awake now. Hey, Kelly. So no, usually in the evenings, but like, it's just life is chaotic and it's hard to find a good time that works lately for me anyways. And this time worked. So that's why we're here. It's Saturday. I thought we'd do a little like afternoon kind of hangout and yeah.
It's Saturday. No, you ain't got no job and you ain't got shit to do.
Another Friday reference. Jen is the queen of all things Friday, which, hey, I love it. So it's all good here. All right. So back to Letecia's lawsuit. Oh, my God. I'm ready to get through this part and get on to the judge's order, but I'm trying not to skip past any important parts. And our next part is going to be count 3, which is her claims that that the prison has denied her the ability to register as Native American and that she must attend smudging. The TCF chaplain has not encountered any complaint or grievance regarding a resident's ability to choose any religious affiliation. Plaintiff claims she was told she cannot attend church services if recognized as Jewish and that she was forced to choose one religion and change her religious affiliation. Plaintiff was not denied the ability to attend Jewish church services because plaintiff was the only Jewish resident in her building at that time. There were no Jewish church services available. On September the 6th, 2023, plaintiff submitted a religious grievance in which she requests permission to attend Christian or Protestant church services while still affiliated as Jewish. Mr. Waller notified her that she would need to change her affiliation per prison policy to attend and participate in those church services. On October the 2nd, plaintiff voluntarily requested a change of religion request form to switch her affiliation from Jewish to Christian Protestant. Residents are not able to choose more than one religious affiliation. They're always free to practice as many religions as they prefer in an individual capacity. Plaintiff claims that Darcy Holthus told her the following quote: "We do not recognize Jewish where you are housed and to take it up with Colorado."
Oh my God. Tisha!
Oh my God. Ms. Holthus denies having told this to plaintiff. The misquoted statement likely arose from Ms. Chavez's response to a grievance plaintiff submitted on September 7th. She stated, "According to your religious affiliations documentation, you are listed as Jewish. We currently do not have any volunteers to lead Jewish services, and you are the only resident on this side of the facility to list Jewish as their religious affiliation." She also claims the chaplain told her that her religious freedoms were being limited by prison leadership and that male residents had greater freedom. The chaplain denies having told plaintiff that her religious freedoms were being limited by any person or entity at the prison. Bindi, give me just 1 second, okay? I'm going to walk outside for a second.
All right. I do not believe that this was said to Letecia at all, but I will say this. I appreciate that they're in this report here or order, they're giving her like the benefit of the doubt. You know, they're saying miscommunication. It's quite clear to anybody with who has, you know, comprehension skills that there isn't anybody in her side of the dorm to volunteer to lead services. I don't know how she could unless the only way I don't see any way that she could unintentionally misconstrue what was written to her. And that's the nice thing about words, isn't it? Especially when it's written to you, you have an opportunity to read it repeatedly, you know, and if you don't understand, or hell, ask a question. But as we see, no. It's going in the lawsuit. Shut
Yeah,
up, T.
it's going in the lawsuit without even ever filing a grievance about it or anything, which you would think, that
Right.
you would need to do that.
They didn't tell her
Sorry
she
about
couldn't
that.
practice her Jewish faith. They told her, we don't have anybody to practice it with you. So you're free to practice it all on your own. But we don't have, there's no services because we don't have anybody to do it. That's all they told her. Calm down, Tisha.
Yeah. Okay, now we're getting to the sweatpants, and I had to mute and walk outside because Mom, I was filming here in the downstairs because nobody lives downstairs, but she came downstairs and she has COPD, so she was coughing a lot. I wasn't trying to catch her on the
She's okay.
microphone. Yeah, she's okay, but probably doesn't choose to be online anyway, so it's better this way.
And we get to hear
so
all
now,
the happy little chirpy birds.
Yeah.
All right,
Which
you
it's
keep
actually
reading. I'll be
nice
right
thing.
back.
Okay.
Sorry, Allie. I didn't mean to talk over you, babe. What were you saying?
No, you didn't. We have a slight delay, but on my end, you actually didn't talk over me, but the delay might make it seem like you did. But just that it's pretty nice here today. Thank God that hurricane and all the storming is out of the way.
Yeah, last weekend was like that here. It was like duck weather. I don't even think the ducks like that weather. So it's getting serious when you don't find the birds, because the birds, they go they hide and whatnot during just even regular storms they do, but that it's about to come to an end, it was a tropical storm when it was here in my part of Florida. But anyway, so that it's getting close to coming to an end when you see the birds start returning. Or maybe that's just me. That's the things that I notice. But I was over the rain.
Ooh, I've noticed that with storms before. Other storms, the birds stopping chirping and kind of disappearing when the bad weather shows up.
Yep. All right, I'll be right back. You keep reading.
Okay. Now, and while you're gone, I'll read this part about the sweatpants. But first, let me say, Jean says, "Hi, ladies. I thought Tisha was claiming to be American Indian in Colorado prison." So she was, and she is American Indian. She claims that to be listed as American Indian in Kansas, that they were requiring her to do smudging services. But they only let you choose one religious affiliation at a time. And we know Tisha wants to claim that she's Jewish so she can get better food, of course. So, that's not going to work for her. But yeah, she actually is American Indian, in her family tree. She is part Indian. Okay, so now we're on to count 4, and this is regarding the sweatpants. So plaintiff claims that she was denied access to her prison tablet as a form of retaliation for filing a PREA complaint and for filing grievances alleging prison policy violations. She also claims that she was issued a disciplinary report for mailing out gifts as a form of retaliation and as an attempt to prevent her from filing more electronic grievances. Plaintiff's tablet was confiscated on February 1st, 2024, after the prison's Enforcement Apprehensions and Investigations Unit became aware that she had sold a pair of her sweatpants on eBay through a third party for $200. Her tablet was withheld from her during the investigation, and after she was found guilty of violating this rule for selling and mailing the sweatpants. Plaintiff regained electronic access to the tablet on May 1st, 2024, but with electronic restrictions. She was not denied access to her tablet or issued a disciplinary report as a form of retaliation, but because she violated prison policy. Plaintiff did not appeal any claim or grievance alleging her tablet access was removed due to filing a PREA complaint as a form of retaliation. Plaintiff claims she was denied access to evidence during her disciplinary hearing, that the presiding officer denied her due process, and that the officer threatened her. Ms. Van Dyke denies having threatened Letecia at any time. She was afforded the opportunity to address the evidence and charge against her during her hearing. In her testimony, she admitted to performing the actions of providing her sweatpants to a third party so they could be sold for financial gain. This was sufficient to find her guilty. Miss Van Dyke denies having planned or written a punishment before the hearing began. The punishment plaintiff received was not excessive or for a prolonged period of time that would be unusual for a Class 3 violation. Additionally, plaintiff was not denied access to the grievance process after being found guilty and had access to physical forms of religious materials and legal resources, including resources in the prison's library, while she was restricted from tablet use. She claims her cell underwent lengthy room searches as a form of retaliation and that officers conducting the searches read through her legal mail. Plaintiff has not filed a grievance or complaint alleging lengthy room searches are being performed out of retaliation. She also has not submitted a complaint to prison staff alleging her legal mail has been read during a cell search. According to Ms. Holviera, the only lengthy cell search potentially applicable would not have been a search but a pack out of her property when she was placed on crisis level. No evidence has been found supporting her claim that her mail was read during this movement or other staff entries to her cell. So now we're on the discussion part. Thank goodness, because that little writing is kind of hard to get through and see and all of that stuff. Let me check in with you guys though first. Let's see. In my opinion, her Indian blood has washed out with her kosher diet. Just playing. I actually believe she is American Indian. Only thing I believe about her. I would love to know who bought those sweatpants. Well, I don't know if you guys missed it, but when Jen and I were on one day doing the last, one of the last filings in this lawsuit, someone in the chat came up. His name is The Collector. He has a channel. You know, some people really disagreed with what he does. Some people were very interested in it. I just appreciated all the people who were respectful no matter how they felt, you know, and that kind of thing. But he's very familiar with this murderabilia marketplace, I guess you could say. There are a lot of people who will spend a lot of money on items from these notorious killers, and it doesn't have to be like a big famous serial killer like Ted Bundy or someone like that. It can be old Letecia, you know, which is, it's hard for me to kind of understand that, because I can see some of the more famous people where that appeal is to have that stuff. I wouldn't want to have it, but you know, you can understand because these are very famous cases, historic cases. But with Letecia, I don't know, but you know, I guess whatever. I'm not the person who's meant to buy that kind of stuff, so maybe I'm not meant to understand. But regardless, yeah, murderabilia. I'm cutting out.
I hear you just fine, babe.
Thanks. There you are.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, does Aunt Brenda know she needs the money?
You know I can't quit you, Allie.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness, because I wouldn't know what to do without you.
I wouldn't know what to do.
Do you want to read a little bit?
Yeah. Let me make my screen bigger. Okay. So I'm at court access, or you want me to read that, or is there something else that you want me to read that you just stopped there?
Yeah, no, this is just where we're at on the discussion portion of the judge's order. So I don't really know even what, this is just where we're at. I don't know what to expect exactly, but yeah.
Okay. So plaintiff alleges in count 1 of her amended complaint that she was denied court access when she was denied phone access to her attorney and when defendants interfered with her legal mail. Plaintiff alleges that from August 23rd to December, let me start that again. Plaintiff alleges from August 2023 to December 2023, she was denied phone access to her attorney regarding her direct criminal appeal. And when she attempted to write to her attorney, her legal mail was confiscated. She claims the mail tampering has taken place from September 2023 to the present. Plaintiff claims that she was forced to file a request to represent herself in her direct criminal appeal. She also claims that her legal mail was tampered with when the court presiding over her Colorado action regarding her conditions of confinement attempted to reach her. Okay. I'm ready for the next part.
Hold on, Bendy.
Okay.
I'm going. I'm sorry. I was trying to get back to it, but okay.
Plaintiff has not sufficiently alleged that she was denied access to her attorneys for her criminal appeal in Colorado. Although plaintiff claims that she was denied the ability to add her attorney to her allowed calling list from August to December of 2023, the report shows that the plaintiff did not, shocker, follow the proper procedures for adding her attorney to the call list. And when her attorney contacted the KDOC and conveyed his interest in having a confidential call with plaintiff, he was provided the registration form. He completed it on the same day, and it was approved the following day. The report provides that prior to this, no evidence has been found to support either party attempting to place a call to the other. Plaintiff also alleges that her mail to her Colorado attorney, quote, has been confiscated by Dalton Hartpence, even in the presence of a sergeant. Well, he is bold. They are bold. Plaintiff alleges that this mail tampering, which is a federal offense, by the way, started in September 2023 and was ongoing at the time she filed her amended complaint on March 26, 2024. The report provides that TCF tracks all outgoing and incoming mail, and plaintiff has sent 16 items of legal mail since her arrival at TCF. The report attaches documentation regarding her mail and states that plaintiff does not appear to have attempted to send her Colorado attorney legal mail, but has sent legal documents and or correspondence to other parties, including this court here. The court noted that it does appear from the exhibit to the report that the plaintiff received mail from her Colorado attorneys on September 27, 2023, March 13, 2024, and May 21, 2024. Plaintiff does not identify what mail she believes was confiscated by defendant Hartpence. That's right, Tisha, keep it vague. In the report, Hartpence denies having confiscated or tampered with plaintiff's mail because it's a federal offense, and provides that since he is not a member of the plaintiff's unit team or facility security, he would not have had the ability to interfere with plaintiff's legal mail. No motive. Okay. Plaintiff continues to claim that shortcomings in TCF's legal library hindered her ability to pursue litigation in Colorado. Plaintiff claims that she does not have access to courts in Colorado. The court advised plaintiff in the MOSC that plaintiff's criminal appeal in Colorado is not accessible because it is suppressed. The court was also unable to access her case online and could only view the information on the case information document. The document, which was attached to the MOSC, provides that, quote, this case is suppressed and available only to case parties. The court found in the MOSC that it appears that the plaintiff would face the same challenge trying to access the information online, including through e-access at any facility. Because the case information document provides that the case is available only to parties, the court advised plaintiff to contact the appellate court or her attorney to determine how to gain access.
Okay, Bendy.
Yes.
Just 1 second. I want you to pause because I have a question. And okay, so first I want to say, because I forgot to say, thank you so much to Lil Red for even getting these documents for us every time. I appreciate it so much. She's been keeping an eye out for new filings. But, she has requested more information, and I was going to ask you, why would her appeals process be suppressed?
Well, I'm not sure about that. So why don't we do this? I don't know that it is. So let me go over here to the El Paso County Clerk of Court. Let's go here. Let's do
I know that she sent an email asking like for more information. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what they'll say. But yeah, let me know what you see.
All right, so they do have, um, as part of the cases of interest, the people of the state of Colorado versus Letecia Stauch. And all the docket entries are listed chronologically from oldest to most recent. So all the stuff would be at the bottom of there. There's nothing in this about her appeal. So let me check another way.
Okay, thank you. Melanie, I don't think you're weird for that. She says that she's traveled to Dahmer's apartment, BTK's house, and where Kaylee Anthony was found. I'm a weirdo, I know. I'm curious like that too. Like, I like to see things for myself, so I could understand that if I was close to some of that stuff, I would probably like to see it as well.
Yeah, I would try to. I would like. To, I mean, it. I don't. I don't understand the murderabilia community because I would never pay money for that for something like that. But that doesn't. Like, I don't understand the paying for it. I understand the interest in it, but I also wouldn't do it really for a very selfish reason. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't want to put any money in these people's pockets as far as the criminals, but also it anything that you would get from them would be covered in bad juju, and I don't need that type of negativity in my life. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have to think about what kind of energy's on that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of possessed are you going to be after you own a pair of sweatpants worn by Letecia Stauch? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Does anybody off the top of their head know what um what judicial district this would be in? Because it is required. Isn't it the 13th judicial circuit? Let's try there.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, that sounds familiar, but not off the top of my head. I am glad that, like, I know that some of this is repetitive with this lawsuit, but I think that they should take every claim that she makes really seriously, because we do see inmates being mistreated in some prisons, and you have that power dynamic and stuff. So I'm glad that they do take it serious. They're trying to look for every grievance to back up, at the way that things work. Just all the stuff that they're doing in here, even though I know that it is a little repetitive at times and it can get frustrating. But remember, all the things that we've read before are either filings by Letecia, filings by the prison, the Martinez report. This is the judge and his, him answering those things. So I know you know that, Jim, but I'm just saying, so everybody's on the same page.
So it can't be the 13th. Okay, so I understand now how this works. They're separated by county. So hers would be the 4th judicial district. I figured it out. I'm so smart.
Oh, awesome.
Let's see. Not case number. Let's try an individual. Let's try. I mean, I would think I'm going to take the court's word for it, because if anybody would know how to access those records, it would be the court. So let's see if we can find it this way. Or, I mean, I'm sure it will come
and
up.
Let's see, it is suppressed. Why, Jen? Like, right. Why would it be?
It doesn't. I can't find anything. Let me try both. Okay, hold on a second. Let me do this. I don't know why it has, I have to search all over again as if I didn't just. Ridiculous.
Oh, I got to get back in the swing of things with YouTube, and yeah, I might try to put out another video later tonight at some point.
I can't find it, but I'll keep looking. I can't find her, but that doesn't mean she's not there. It just means I'm not searching correctly. So I'm trying to do it quickly. So let me look into it. It's possible that the reason, first of all, Letecia as a party Usually when something like that is suppressed, it is only available to the attorneys or a named party, which obviously Letecia would be a named party. It might be something in the Colorado criminal procedure that appeals are kept suppressed, where it's not available to the public. And I don't know. I have to look up. I
Yeah.
will look into it and I will find out what the deal is. Okay, I will try my
Well,
best.
I think we should let's go to like page 20 of this today on this
Okay,
live, and then we'll come back and do a part 2 in a day or two and try to have the answers to that, because there
okay,
are a couple other follow-up things I'd like to look into
okay.
as well, and we can just kind of put it all together. But here's the thing that would bother me about that, if that's the case, if this is like a Colorado thing. So in Colorado, you're giving out, all the case files, autopsies, autopsy photos of children, which I know that they're trying to change that now and stuff, but the appeals process would be, that seems a little messed up. I don't know. That's just like my first thought if it is a Colorado thing.
Yeah,
But
I'm not exactly. I don't know what's going on there. Perhaps because what is the disposition of her lawsuit um, against the El Paso County Jail and WellPath? Is that completely done and over with? Is it completely over? I can't
yeah, I
remember.
think it's been completely dismissed. I can't remember either off the top of my head. I'd have to go back, but part of me wants to say that it's been completely thrown out.
Okay. Because I was thinking that maybe because she's also currently involved in personal litigation with the state of Colorado, that out of an abundance of caution, they suppressed her criminal appeal in an effort to keep it, anybody from any implication of impropriety. Maybe that's what they did. I don't know. But I will look it up and I'll see if I can figure it out.
Okay, awesome. And yeah, if you need anything or if there's anything I can do, let me know. And yeah. Hey, Amber, good to see
Hey.
you.
Okay.
Our little pregnant mama over
I
there. Hope you're feeling
know.
good and doing
With your little true crime baby.
good. Okay.
All right. So the court found
Yeah.
in the MOSC that it is well established that a prison inmate has a constitutional, oh my God, constitutional right of access to the courts. See, Tisha, I ain't violating your constitutional rights. I can barely say the word. However, it is equally well settled that the court, in order to present a viable claim for denial of access to courts, an inmate must allege and prove prejudice arising from the defendant's actions. And then it's case law. The requirement that an inmate show actual injury derives ultimately from the doctrine of standing. An inmate may satisfy the actual injury requirement by demonstrating that the alleged acts or shortcomings of defendants hindered his efforts to pursue a non-frivolous legal claim. And then it's case law, to state a claim for violation of the constitutional right to access the courts, a prisoner must demonstrate actual injury. That is, that the prisoner was frustrated or impeded in his efforts to pursue a non-frivolous legal claim concerning his conviction or his conditions of confinement. The Supreme Court plainly held in Lewis that the injury requirements is not satisfied by just any type of frustrated legal claim. Rather, the injury occurs only when prisoners are prevented from attacking their sentences directly or collaterally or challenging the conditions of confinement. Impairment of any other litigating capacity is simply one of the incidental and perfectly constitutional consequences of conviction and incarceration. So what she has to prove is that she is specifically hindered from only accessing Colorado courts online. That it isn't that she is restricted in her online access in general. because of her status
okay.
as a prisoner, because that is not against the Constitution. So she would have to prove, I can access other courts. Why can't I can only not access Colorado. That's the problem. Okay. The right to access the courts is only the right to present grievances to the court, and does not require prison administrators to supply resources guaranteeing inmates' ability to litigate effectively once in court, or to conduct generalized research. So, but basically this is saying you only have to have access to the law library. Nobody has to help you. They're not required to help you. All right. So the court held in the MOSC that that plaintiff failed to specify the exact legal proceedings that she claims were hindered. The court held that she failed to identify the specific legal claims she raised in those proceedings, failed to explain why those claims were non-frivolous, and failed to explain how those non-frivolous claims were prejudiced by her inability to access law materials. Plaintiff alleges in her amended complaint that she has never filed an action against a prison or in the state of Kansas, but states that she has a pending case in Colorado against the El Paso County Jail. Plaintiff claims that her open prison conditions case in Colorado challenges conditions while housed in county jail. She claims that the shortcomings in the library have hindered efforts to continue pursuing it. She claims that the Colorado court tried to reach her in December 2023, and once again, her legal mail was tampered with. Plaintiff claims that she then received a letter in February 2024 saying it would be dismissed because plaintiff did not have access and resources to respond, making it untimely. Plaintiff has still failed to show an actual injury. When she filed her amended complaint on March 26, 2024, she listed the case as pending and refers to it as an open case. Furthermore, plaintiff has failed to comply with the requirements set forth in the court's MOSC. She fails to identify the specific legal claims she raised in those proceedings, fails to explain why those claims were non-frivolous, and fails to explain how those non-frivolous claims were prejudiced by her inability to access law library materials. Plaintiff should show good cause why her claims regarding court access and access to her attorney in court, one should not be dismissed for, in count one, should not be dismissed for failure to state a claim. So basically what the judge is saying here is that if your case is still open and is still ongoing, then how were your rights violated? How did they hinder the legal process in that case if it's still opening? Now, if the reason given for the case being closed is that the defendant, or the plaintiff in this case, which would be Letecia, failed to respond or file things in a timely fashion, and also failed to notify the court that she may need an extension and the reasons why she would need an extension, then that would be, let me stop there. Let's ignore this, what I just said. Let me start again. If the case were, I was on the right track. If it were closed because she failed to file motions in a timely fashion and also failed to request extensions or continuances for deadlines, then that would be different. But that's not that's not the case. So she's not been hindered. So that's not an actual injury to her. So once again, shut up, Tisha. Okay.
Yeah. And that gives us an answer about the case being dismissed,
Right.
Because I thought that it was. I remember us talking about it, but there is so much that's happened, and it's between the phone calls and the trying to keep up with her, like these civil proceedings and all of that. It all becomes very confusing. But you guys, So let me see. There was a comment I wanted to. Kelly says, "Is there any chance she can still appeal her sentence? We know that she's missed the deadlines, but she does have an attorney on record, and I can show you guys that one more time before we go on to the next count. We probably will pause and finish like another day very soon, but at the very last page of the last filing, we have this." Adding an attorney on record paper. And she adds this attorney, Eric Samler, out of Denver, Colorado. And she adds him for this matter, People versus Letecia Stauch, Colorado Court of Appeals, and he signed it. So we know that he knows that he's being added as the attorney. He actually reached out to the prison asking to be added as her attorney. So she's definitely talking to somebody and trying to work on something, but what that is and what she can do, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know that the door to Letecia filing a direct appeal to her conviction is permanently closed, if it's closed at all. Because people get convicted all the time and might initially feel like I'm not going to appeal immediately and then later change their mind. And I don't think that I'm not exactly 100% sure. What I will say is I don't think that I can't figure out what her direct appeal would be based on. Her trial was fair. Her trial was I don't think that there were any errors that, if any errors occurred, which there probably were errors, it's human beings running a trial, so it's probably some trial errors. But I don't think that if there are any trial errors that they would raise, that they rise to the level that had they not occurred, the outcome of the trial would be different. That that whatever the error was, it would change the jury's mind. Another jury would have found something different, or it was so egregious that that her right to due process was in fact actually denied due to a court error or trial error, and they would grant her a new trial. I don't think she has anything to really legitimately base a direct appeal on that would actually work. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. And oh God, she pled guilty. She has this whole defense of dissociative identity disorder and all of that. I just don't really know what she would be expecting. Let's say that they didn't hear one piece of information or something like that. Well, you pled not guilty by reason of insanity. So, I mean, I don't know.
The only thing that maybe she could base an appeal on that might have a chance is to go at the jury instructions, because there were the way that the jury had defined, there were a lot of if then but clauses in those jury instructions. So they first had to find her guilty of the crime of which she committed. They then if I remember correctly, it was after that they had to figure out or determine whether or not when she committed the crime that she was under, a dissociative identity. There was some sort of issue that she can be found insane under the law. That was the next thing they had to find. So they had to find two things, and the only thing that she may have a shot in is if she might argue, or her attorney might argue, that the jury instructions were unclear. Sort of like with Casey Anthony, where the jury didn't understand that they didn't have to find that a cause of death did not have to be proven in order to find Casey Anthony guilty of first-degree murder. They only had to find that Kaylee died of a homicide and that homicide was perpetrated on her by Casey Anthony. And they didn't understand that. And so that is what resulted in her acquittal. So
Right.
that's the only thing I can see, honestly, that I can think of right now off the top of my head. I don't see it being successful, but
Yeah.
that's the only thing I got.
The only grounds that she could potentially even have to fight on.
Yeah.
Courtland, you are so pretty. I love that picture. I just wanted to say that when I pulled it up and it's so big there. I love seeing your guys' pictures, but yeah. Someone put in chat and I wanted to ask you, and then I think maybe I'll read this time, this next
Okay.
count, and we can let you guys go. But someone had put in chat, how crazy is it that Sarah Boone cannot be nice and deal in a constructive way? This isn't exactly their comment, but with her attorneys, but Letecia could. Like, that's kind of crazy to think about.
Well, yeah, because I think what it boiled down to with Letecia and Tellini is that, and I'm sure it was contentious initially, because I'm sure she did not want, when she understood what not guilty by reason of insanity actually was, which is an affirmative defense. I think there might have been a little bit of back and forth there. She's not an easy person to get along with, but whatever it was that she was doing, Tellini probably just put up with, but to me, I wish that we could know, but we'll probably, the only way we'll ever know what it was with Sarah Boone that was the big issue for the lawyers, or what was the issue between Sarah and the lawyers, is if Sarah releases them from their attorney-client privilege, or her, if she's no longer alive, that releases them, so they could talk about it then. But they all cited, which I thought was interesting, something respective to ethics, and it just makes me wonder what she wanted them to do.
That's really interesting. Well, so we'll probably never know, but it would be nice. It would be interesting to hear them be able to talk about it.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, we can't see. Stealth Mode says, is she trying for an appeal because of ineffective counsel? And we can't see. It's suppressed. We're trying to figure out why. On the part 2, maybe we'll have some answers for that. And also maybe I'll have some answers regarding the conditions at the jail in Kansas for other people that aren't Letecia, because I did receive an email from someone who was like, look, I can't stand Letecia. She makes me crazy, but I just got to say, some of these things that she's claiming are true. I've been to prison there, and so I'm going to try to get some more information on that before we come back to.
Okay, cool. That'll be interesting. I want to hear about that.
Yeah, me too. Okay. All right. So now we're on to count 2, the conditions at Topeka Correctional Facility. Courtland, she is still in Kansas. Yep. I think that she's trying to find a way out, but I don't know that it's going to work. She claims they're holding her illegally, and she was never supposed to be there. And
yeah, she's acting as if she has an actual innocence claim. Spoiler alert, Letecia, you don't.
Yeah, at all.
You don't at all.
Okay.
All right.
So count 2, conditions at the prison. As count 2, plaintiff alleges cruel and unusual punishment and deliberate indifference for her health and safety. Plaintiff bases this claim on the following conditions: exposure to toxins from sewage leaks that can cause waste to return to inmates' cells about 2 times a week, inoperable sinks that lack hot water for sanitation, obvious signs of mold leading to medical issues, exposure to contaminated water on January 14th, 2024, when defendants failed to advise inmates about a warning from the city of Topeka for 24 hours, inadequate ventilation adding to the exposure to toxins, leaking windows that allow rain, wind, and vermin to enter through the windows, getting cleaning supplies is often an issue, and food is not prepared under clean conditions, is generally cold, and does not follow nutritional guidelines. Plaintiff alleges that the conditions have caused breathing issues, extreme headaches, dizziness, nausea, daily nosebleeds, and diminished lung capacity. A prison official violates the Eighth Amendment when two requirements are met. First, the deprivation alleged must be objectively sufficiently serious. To satisfy the objective component, a prisoner must allege facts showing he or she is incarcerated under conditions posing a substantial risk of serious harm. The second requirement for an Eighth Amendment violation, quote, follows from the principle that only the necessary and wanton infliction of pain implicates the Eighth Amendment, unquote. Prison officials must have a, quote, sufficiently culpable state of mind, unquote, and in prison conditions, cases that state of mind is, quote, deliberate indifference, unquote, to inmate health or safety. The official must both be aware of facts from which the indifference could be drawn that a substantial risk of serious harm exists, and he must also draw the inference. The Eighth Amendment does not outlaw cruel and unusual conditions. It outlaws cruel and unusual punishments. It is not enough to establish that the official should have known of the risk of harm. Because the sufficiency of a conditions of confinement claim depends on the particular facts of each situation, the circumstances, nature, and duration of the challenge conditions must be carefully considered. Then some case law, and then he puts a quote in here. While no single factor controls, the length of exposure to the conditions is often of prime importance. Let's see. The report shows that no sewage backups have been observed in any of the prison cells, including the 10 cells in which she has resided. When there is a backup reported for the showers, maintenance personnel try to immediately respond and block off traffic to the area, and the prison is in the process of upgrading its solid waste sewer system to address the issue, and it is expected to be completed in 2025. Plaintiff does not specify an instance where raw sewage was actually present in her cell, and mentions exposure to fumes. She mentions sewage leaks, quote, that causes the waste to return to our cells, including other inmates, feces, waste, etc., causing me to breathe in these fumes, including gray water, unquote. She also mentions sewage leaks through rooms. They're quoting her exact words, and the pit, causing, quote, backups and toxins overflowed into our rooms at an increasing rate. And the issues with toxins and exposure to other feces has continued, unquote. Then it states that it is, quote, it is estimated that it backs up and overflows in our rooms twice a week, unquote. She adds that, quote, ICH does not have adequate ventilation, which adds to exposure, unquote, and that she has been exposed to toxic substances and sewer gas. In any event, plaintiff does not allege that staff failed to timely remedy any plumbing backups. As for mold, plaintiff makes an unsupported allegation that, quote, obvious signs of mold, unquote, have led to health issues, without indicating where or when she observed mold at the prison. A, quote, bare allegation of the presence of mold does not create a reasonable inference regarding the sort of threat to plaintiff's mental or physical well-being, which is necessary for violation of the Eighth Amendment, unquote. The report shows that the only document in which plaintiff mentions mold is in a grievance claim that claims inadequate medical care from a Centurion nurse. Plaintiff did not file a grievance or maintenance request regarding any suspected mold during her time at the prison, and the maintenance department investigates all claims of mold and has not identified any species of mold in her current or previous cells. Plaintiff claims that sinks are inoperable without hot water for sanitation. The report shows that the prison heats its water with older water heaters, which sometimes take up to a minute to produce heated water in cold weather. It is available. Hot water is available in all sinks and showers, but it may take a few seconds to become available. The report provides that at no point have any of plaintiff's current or prior sales been without access to heated water. And since August of 2023, water temperatures have been confirmed to range from 100 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. As for the day of the water advisory, plaintiff claims that they, quote, were only given 2 bottles of water in the morning and 2 at night, unquote. The report states that the water advisory on the 14th of January was specifically directed at the Metro Topeka Airport Authority and Shawnee County Rural Water District, and out of an abundance of caution, steps were taken to prevent any risk to resident health. To ensure each resident was aware of the advisory, including residents that didn't have tablet access, unit teams followed up with a verbal notice. Maintenance also posted warnings on all water fountains, and the facility shut off its water supply. Plaintiff has acknowledged that she received the bottled water and fails to allege that any delay in receiving notice of the water advisory was the result of deliberate indifference. Regarding cleaning supplies, plaintiff states that access to cleaning supplies is often an issue because sergeants on duty consistently yell about getting them and threaten to take them away daily. That's a quote from her paperwork. Plaintiff does not suggest that she has no access to cleaning supplies. Her unit team manager, Linda Holviera, does not recall a single instance in which she was denied the ability to retrieve cleaning products or to be provided cleaning products by security personnel. Plaintiff also makes the bald conclusion that ICH does not have adequate ventilation. The report states that TCF has contracted with P1 Group Inc., which maintains air quality and ventilation systems for the facility, and the maintenance department has not found inadequate ventilation in her current or previous cells or in the I cell house generally. Plaintiff claims that, quote, windows leak water and winds are of extreme temps in winter at ICH. Vermin also enters in some windows, unquote. Plaintiff does not give any specifics as to when and where she observed leaking windows or vermin entering through unspecified windows. The report states that no evidence of window leaks, mold, or vermin have been found by the maintenance department in any of the cells that she has resided. Her claim that her cell experiences extreme temperature changes is unsubstantiated and has not been reported to TCF's maintenance department. And since plaintiff has lived at the prison, not one health and sanitation inspection report has found a window opening that would allow a bug or rodent infestation. She claims her food is not prepared under clean conditions and food is cold and doesn't follow guidelines. The report provides that the prison contracts with Aramark for resident food services. Aramark has 2 full-time nutritionists that ensure meals are nutritionally compliant with state and federal standards. And while the prison's kitchen is being renovated, meals are being prepared in a mobile facility on prison grounds and placed in portable food warmers and distributed as quickly as possible. The warmers are sufficient to keep meals warm until they reach the resident, and meals are prepared in a sanitary manner and with the same care as if they were being prepared in the facility kitchen. The report acknowledges food is sometimes cold and a temporary result of the kitchen renovations. Again, she fails to refer to any specific instances or to give any details as to why she believes the food is not prepared under clean conditions or why it does not meet nutritional guidelines. She also fails to give examples of when or how often food is served cold. Similar allegations regarding cold food have been found to be insufficient to show a constitutional violation. Bunch of case law. Let's see. The 8th Amendment requires prison and jail officials to provide humane conditions of confinement guided by contemporary standards of decency. The Supreme Court has acknowledged that the Constitution, quote, does not mandate comfortable prisons, and only those deprivations denying the minimal civilized measure of life's necessities are sufficiently grave to form the basis of an 8th Amendment violation. Indeed, prison conditions may be restrictive and even harsh. Under the 8th Amendment, prison officials must provide humane conditions, adequate food, clothing, shelter, and medical care. She's failed to show deprivation sufficient enough for an 8th Amendment violation. Okay, and we're going to stop at medical care, and when we come back, we can try to find answers to some of our other questions and go over the rest of the paperwork. But yeah, newsflash, Tisha, prisons indeed may be restrictive and even harsh. Like it's freaking prison.
Who
Duh.
knew? I mean, look, they're required to provide you 3 hots and a cot. And if you're, sick, they got to provide you medical care. Okay. There's nothing in the Constitution about the quality of that medical care, the level of medical care. For example,
Yep.
any a surgery to replace or to try to fix some nerve damage you claim you have in your pinky finger or whatever the hell it is. You're still clearly able to write because you're doing it. So stop. It's not that deep. They're talking about what she's describing as cruel and unusual punishment are things that are not cruel or unusual and aren't even punishment, to be honest with you. A cruel and unusual punishment example of a one that would be taken seriously or have merit is, let's say, Letecia, for her Priya complaint. All right. And let's not even go that. And they put her in the hole or solitary confinement for an undue amount of time. And and she was injured in solitary confinement, and they seriously injured. Not she stubbed her toe or something like that, but she was seriously injured, or the conditions of solitary confinement are such that it caused her to be sick and they denied her medical care. That is, or something like, all the times Letecia violated little rules in jail, like, bringing food back to herself, stuff like that. If they threw her in the hole for a year over that as punishment, that would be that's what constitutes cruel and unusual. Or if they physically, struck her and stuff like that, she was subjected to beatings or whatever, or she was in one of like the weight room, like what happened with Jeffrey Dahmer. But let's say it happened to Letecia, only there was a prison official who was standing there to make sure that it wasn't stopped. That would be something. And she survived the attack. Obviously, she'd have to survive in order to make a lawsuit. But you see, that's my point. Like, she's doing too freaking much for no reason. And I think
she does.
Exactly. And I think all of this is nothing more than an attempt at trying to get a extension or some type of pass because of the failure to file notice of appeal. That's really what I think it boils down to. She also just plain likes to fuck with folks. So there's that too.
Yeah. Hope, thank you so much for joining. And Christy said it best, cruel and unusual, like she treated Gannon. Exactly, Christy.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh, what a mess what a mess she is in general. And I don't know, we're all kind of interested in how her mind works. I think because she's such a unique person. And Sarah Boone too, they're similar but different.
Yeah. The level of dysfunction is, they're both equally dysfunctional, right? But I would say that as far as the legal process goes, I actually think they might actually be even at that too, because of the amount of shenanigans that both of them had pulled, waiting, in going through the process just to get to trial, not counting the trial, just getting to trial. They've both pulled some, BS. But it's fascinating to me to watch Sarah be told something, or Letecia to be told something, and everybody hears it. I mean, all people are going to hear things a little different, but the way that they process information and then try to explain what they were told, it's like, were you even listening? Were you were you listening to the same person we're all listening to? Because that is not what they told you. Like with Letecia and being told that there aren't any people of the Jewish faith where she is being housed, but there's no volunteers to lead Jewish services. So if she wants to practice her faith, she's going to be doing it solo. That's what they said. That's what 99% of people would have heard when they said that, but not Letecia. What she heard is, um, I can't, I can't be Jewish.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Exactly. Tess, thank you for being a member 21 months. She says, thank you, ladies, for making something that could be mundane truly fascinating. Love you both. And I'm so blessed to have found all of you. And I feel the same way, Tess. Love you back and thank you for everything.
Oh, love
Um,
you too, Tess. Thank you.
I need to show you something. Hold on.
Oh
This
God.
is this is what no, it's not bad and it's not too
Okay.
related. This I uploaded, but I took it down because I played a song that didn't mute some it was just rap music, but it didn't mute certain words that I really didn't want to have on here. So I just took the whole video down. I may reload it later, but I got to show you the dolphins yesterday. This is why when I'm ready, I'm going to go spend the rest of my day out on the water and hope that I can see these guys again. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
We need something good after all of that, Tisha.
I tried to clip together a bunch of different clips. I don't know if my internet's good enough for you to actually see it though. So let me know. There's another one. Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
It's
One
a
I got.
little, it's a little pixelated and a little laggy.
Um,
But eventually, what we're seeing him eventually.
okay. Well, I'll upload it again so people can see it. But like there were probably 15 or 20 of them out there. And
Oh, a whole little pod.
I know they were like jumping up in the air and playing. And I was thinking, like, and I told you this in text, but I'm so serious. I kayak out there all the time. I love to be out on the kayaks. Like, I go all the way to those trees and I go all the way out there, all around. What would you do if they, like, they're huge? What if they, like, came up on I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I may
I'll
fall
tell you what
completely.
you would do. You would fall into the water. You know how to swim, right?
Yeah.
You'd be fine. And the fact of the matter is, you'd be perfectly safe because who are scared of dolphins?
Sharks, right?
So you'd be just fine. You probably have the time of your life.
It'd be so scary, though, because they're huge, man.
After you got done being scared, you'd just be in awe. I would love it. And but I vacillate because there's so many, like there's like tons of cruises and stuff, and there's places you can go to pet the dolphins. But I feel like I want to experience that, but then I feel guilty for wanting to experience that because I think that if the dolphins had their way and they were given a choice, they wouldn't want to be
Yeah.
confined in that way. They'd want to be swimming free. So that's why I don't ever, even though I've had I could do it if I wanted to, I could find a place to do it and go, but I just won't because I feel like I don't know, on some level, I feel guilty.
We can come here and do it. But that's what I told Mom. I was like, Mom, like, because I saw these. I was up there eating dinner and just like looking out at the water, and I ran down really fast to try to get the video. But I was like, I saw when we were at the beach last time, they charge like $300 to take you out in a boat to try to see dolphins. And you don't know if you're going to see them or not. You know what I mean? And these people are getting super wealthy off of that because, yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, dolphins of all the creatures that can be in the ocean, dolphins are my favorite. I used to have my mom and dad went to Ixtapa, Mexico when I was in high school and bought me and my sister back some stuff. And one of the things they brought me back was a dolphin ring, and it was two dolphins facing backwards of each other, but it formed the circle or whatever. And it was like sterling silver. It was really pretty. And I lost that ring a long time ago. I don't even know what happened to it, but dolphins are my favorite. And I would absolutely just love to sit out there. They're so smart. They're social creatures. They're just, I don't know. I just love a dolphin. Dolphins and hippopotamus are my favorite, which they're polar opposite personality wise. I just like the hippos because nobody fucks with the hippos. The crocodiles are scared of the hippos. Everybody at the watering hole avoids the hippos. And I just find that to be so fascinating. I just love the dadgum hippos. And I do love wolves, Wolfie. You know that I do because they are, because I really love all animals. I'm just scared of frogs and birds freak me out a little bit, but I still will watch them. The other night, my son sent me a text with a picture. Allie, that dadgum big ass bullfrog, the one that I call Chad Daybell, he's back.
Yeah.
And this time he was in the smoker's lounge, just a chilling, like I was like, bro, you better get gone. Listen, I don't want to smoke with you. You got to go.
Well, no, you would hate it here though, because then frogs are everywhere. But I would just take you out by the water and spend all the time and not up in the grass and stuff.
Yes.
That's where they're at.
I mean, I'm okay being around, like, okay. I don't want to, we need frogs. They're very important to our ecosystem. We need them. I would never, ever, ever do anything to harm a frog. I just would rather avoid them. And there's something about frogs in Florida that because there's the bullfrogs and then there's the tree frogs. The bullfrogs kind of like they try to avoid the people, but tree frogs are super sometimey and they're like the honey badgers of the frog community. They don't give an F at all and they will hop on you, get all up in your bubble. It's too much for me.
Yeah.
It's too much. I just stay away from me.
Yeah, they're weird and I never experienced tree frogs really till I came here. And the animals are just so different by the water than what I'm used to in the mountains of West Virginia. Like there's animals up there, but it's not like the reptiles and those kind of animals.
Right, exactly. And like sometimes you will hear you'll hear like a thump on the window and it is, tree frogs. And they're just, just chilling on your window. They used to chill on the screen door too. Drove me because it's glass. And it's like, ugh.
Tess said, have you seen the clip of orcas surrounding a kayak recently? I haven't seen it. Have you seen it, Jen?
No.
That would be so scary too. I have seen a couple clips of like maybe was it at the Olympics, that big whale in the background, or of some whales recently that have been coming awfully close to the shore, but not that one.
Speaking of the Olympics, y'all, if you are not on the Tickety Talks following Snoop and Martha's commentary during some of the Olympic events, and then they have like little side quests, like she took him out to dinner and tried to get him to eat like escargot and stuff. Their relationship, their friendship is just so cute to me. And I just adore Snoop. And watching him watch the horses, when they get the horses to canter and then they do that sidewalk and he's like, oh, they doing the crip walk, Martha, look, and it's just, he's funny. He's just naturally a very funny guy anyway. And it's just funny to me. And when I've had like a lot of stress or I'm just like annoyed or irritated, hit up the Tickety Talks, you guys. Peacock is the one that's been showing them. But watch the Martha Stewart and Snoop because
I have to go watch those because I haven't seen them yet. But there was, and I posted it on the babies on TikTok. I love them so much, like the babies who are cussing and they're like not meaning to cuss and stuff like that. But I posted a video on my community tab of TikTok. You guys should go watch it. It is freaking hilarious.
It is hilarious. I watched it. I did. I clicked it. The one kid, the one that is my current favorite for the kids that cuss, is the little kid that's standing at the window and says, "It's a fucking goat." I don't know why. It just kills me every single. It makes me laugh so hard. It just makes
Here,
me
we'll
laugh so
actually
hard.
end with that. But before we
Okay.
go, what are you doing today? And is there anything that we like can look forward to seeing from you today?
So I am going to do my Patreon live this evening. I just need to sort of figure out what time. I want to finish, not finish, not even close. Barely read any. I want to keep going in reading the book, um, Terry Hobbs' Box Full of Nightmares. But I have a video that I want to show you guys too. So that's tonight. I'm thinking maybe doing it at like 7. And that way, if Allie wants to go live at 9 or whatever, or other people do that we all share subs with, then that I'm not getting in the way of anybody. You know what I mean? And because I don't like to make the subs choose who to
I
watch.
don't either. And it's really hard though. Like lately there's been several days I was going to go live and just push it off for the next day. It's hard to find the balance because you don't want to be rude and like just go at the same time as your friends. And then again, there's sometimes no other time that you can do it. So
Yes.
just got to do what you got to do and try to make it work. So.
Yes, exactly.
So at 7, you said, and then
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. Well, and
And I'm working on some stuff for the other channel too.
I'm working on a couple of videos as well, and we still have actually 2 call videos one for each channel. And then let me go check before we go. I don't think our new calls have came in yet. But let me just check really quick.
Yeah, I don't think so. I haven't
Okay.
checked either.
Yeah.
But I don't
No.
think so. I feel like that would be something I would actually get a notification for.
Okay. Well, yeah, they haven't come. Crystal, she says, I'm playing nurse today. Brooke had her arm surgery. Hey, Allie, how's Bentley's arm? So Bentley is doing really good. He had the surgery a week ago, Thursday, I think it was. And we had an appointment. And they said that that it was looking great. We go back in 3 weeks. He gets a shorter cast. And yeah, I hope that Brooke is feeling good and hopefully heals.
Me too. I hope Brooke feels better soon.
Yeah.
And Bentley, Bentley's my favorite.
Yeah, he loves you back, and he loves the attention you guys give him. Like I'm telling you, not that he's not actually the kind of kid who needs to be the center of attention at all. But when I read him and tell him things that you say, Jen, sent messages you send to him, and the messages that some of the chat put on this card that Tess was passing around. Oh my God, it was so precious. Like he really felt, I don't know. I loved watching it because I felt like he really felt really special. And yeah, so thank you guys. It was sweet.
I want to show you something before you go and before you show that TikTok. Can you share my screen?
Yes. Well, I can't find the TikTok, so we're not going to end with that. I'm just going to end it. Music City, Mom, I did. I actually took him. We went and got some lunch, and we also went to Walmart and got some little treats and stuff. And thank you so much. Thank all you guys. All right, let me add this to the screen. All you guys who have sent him love and support and toy money because he got an Amazon card with quite a lot of money on it, and he bought several toys. He bought a couple things for Emily, which I encouraged because I didn't want to leave her out.
Bentley, God, love his whole heart.
Yeah, he loved that. He loves it. Loves the attention from you guys and all the love and stuff. So thank you so much.
Happy to share. Okay. That's how you know that you've done good. Okay. So now, y'all, I got a text yesterday from Elizabeth letting me know what Olivia, Chicken Nugget Pot Pie, wanted for Christmas. And y'all, these are what she wants. She is so in love with Bluey that she wants these dadgum little Bluey cowboy little boots. And I told her that I would get them for her, but that I can't, there's no way that I can make Olivia wait all the way to Christmas. It's freaking August for her to have those. So I'm going to get them when we get paid. But I told Elizabeth, you got to find something else for me to buy for Christmas that's like something that's like less, something that she's not going to wear. Because I'm going to need to see these little bluey boots on her.
Those are adorable.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
God, they're adorable. Well, tell her she has good taste. Oh, Music City Mom's granddaughter is going to the Bluey musical.
Oh, how exciting! I'm going to have to look and see if if they're doing an venue that's close to where my daughter and my granddaughter live, so that I can
cool.
send her to that, because she would love that. Yeah, she needs them now. They are kind of cute. Honestly, I tried to see if if they were available in my size. They're obviously not, just because I think they're kind of cute.
It'd be adorable to have you both in them. Tess said yesterday on the phone, he legitimately melted my heart. You have a special kiddo. Thank you so much, Tess. Yeah, I was sending her a voice message, and he was in the back seat singing. And it was so sweet. He was singing about how much he loves, like, my cousin Summer, who passed away, and her kids. And he was like, I miss Summer. I miss Riley. Like, he was just back there singing. And I was like, oh my God, did you hear him? Like, he's
my gosh.
No.
Bentley has the best heart, you guys. And I'm telling you right now, while I do know Allie's significant other, and he has a fantastic heart as well. You guys, Bentley gets his heart, I think, 90% from Allie and 10% from his dad. That's what I think.
I don't know, man. I don't know where he gets all the stuff. I don't know. Like, sometimes kids, I guess, like, we don't realize how much they're always listening to everything. So
always. Yeah. Little rabbits have big ears, as the saying goes. They hear it all, especially when you think they're not listening. That's when they're hearing all the things.
And thank you, Bendy, by the way. But yeah, I think his heart, I don't know, man. It's far beyond mine. That's for sure. But thank you. And yeah, all right, you guys. The Mean Goals. I love your picture.
Oh, Wolfie.
All right. I'm going to let you guys go so I can go out there and float and wait for my dolphins. But I'll definitely be checking you out later, Jen. And I hope that your book reading goes well. And then I'll be posting a video at some point. So,
hey.
Yeah. Yeah, they are hyper aware, aren't they? They're just like, sometimes I don't know, you don't think they're always listening, and some of the stuff that comes out of their little brains. But honestly, some of the stuff that comes from his brain, I don't think he even gets from anything he hears. Like, he makes so much sense. I don't know how they're so smart. I don't know. It's crazy.
The thing about Bentley is, while he is young, Bentley has an old soul. And when he goes to explaining a reason why, for whatever it is, the reason is a sound reason. You know, like, it's very well thought out. His reasoning is far more mature than his chronological age. And I don't know, he just cracks me up. He just cracks me up.
Yeah. He definitely, me too. Okay, so Foxy is live this morning. So Foxy, she's a mod here. She's a friend of ours, but she also has a channel where she does tarot and stuff. If you guys are interested in that, you should go check her out.
Absolutely. She's got a great channel, you guys. Highly recommend. She's a good person too.
Yeah, she definitely is. And then Bendy, thank you so much for everything, for being here with me and going through all this stuff. Sometimes I know it's kind of hard to, like, I don't know, it's frustrating with Tisha, but it is very interesting. But some of it's repetitive and, like I said earlier, nonsensical. So it can be both good and bad. And just thank you for being here with me through all of it. I appreciate it so much.
Thanks for always inviting me and including me. Tisha is fascinating because no matter, it's like she never learns her lesson. When something like this, like she'll get this appeal, this order or whatever, and she will read it, and she will then probably refile some, if it's allowed, if there's a refiling of motions allowed, she'll refile it, ignoring all of the directions. And we'll do that repeatedly. I can't understand how you get to be her age and this is how you freaking act.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this happens.
What do you think? Okay, one last question about it before we go. But what do you think she's gonna read when she reads that prison isn't supposed to be comfortable, and it's like this is to be expected part? What is she gonna think of that?
The court is against me too. It's all a big conspiracy.
Yeah.
I had no chance. They don't care. This is how they treat people. I'm being unfairly persecuted, prosecuted, and targeted. I didn't commit this crime. They failed to investigate what happened. And if they would have just done what I said to do, then they would know that I didn't do this. That's her attitude. So yeah.
Yeah, you're so right. It probably will be it. Not that, hey, wait, light bulb moment. You're right. Jail's not supposed to be fucking comfortable. Maybe I shouldn't have committed a crime if I didn't want to be here and I wanted to go live my best life. It's not going to be in jail.
Or maybe she could be part of the solution rather than being the problem. If there's deficiencies in the prison system, right? Why not work with the prison officials to make good changes? Why not do that? You're not getting out, Tisha. You're not going anywhere. And even if they move you from Kansas back to Colorado and then they transfer you someplace else, prison is prison.
Yep.
Why?
But that's actually a really great idea. How about make change for yourself and other inmates instead of just wasting your time complaining.
Instead of suing them. Let's say you won. Let's say she won. Let's say she was awarded $100,000. Where do you think that $100,000 comes from? Well, it's going to come from the state, which means that they now are at a negative $100,000. So if there were going to be improvements made to the prison, now they can't afford them.
Yeah.
And so you're going to get $100,000, and guess what? It's going to change nothing, because let's say you did win. They'd give you your money, and then they would move you out of Kansas back to Colorado, and nothing you're not going to get out of prison. Until you're no longer alive. You got a life without the possibility of parole.
Yep, you're not getting out, lady, at all, ever. Okay, I was dropping some links in the chat. You guys check out the channels I drop. I'm going to let you go and go float away into my happy place. And
I'm going to go take a nap.
All right, into your happy place. And then I'll see you guys a little bit later. Thank you for everything and being here. And thank you, Jen. And yeah, I'm just going to hit end now, because if I don't, I'll say goodbye for like 20 more minutes. Okay. Yes. So I'm hitting the end button. Okay. Bye.
Bye.